Brian Wilson, Mary Catherine Ham, Brian Neiman, today's newsmakers, and you, the Morning Majority.
105.9 FM.
And AM 630.
WMAL.
8:37 on the Morning Majority. It's Friday morning, headed into Super Bowl weekend, and nobody in this room, I've been told, will double dip. Okay. You heard it.
Count on it, buddy.
You just heard it a moment ago. Bill Thompson had the latest news. The jobless numbers are out. The economy added some 243,000 jobs, and the unemployment rate now dropping down to 8.3, according to the latest government statistics. On that note, we are joined by BRET BAIER, the anchor of Special Report on your Fox News channel. Brett, that will be a pretty big story today, I would imagine.
Yeah, good morning. This is actually huge for the White House. This is a number that far exceeds what was projected. There was supposed to be a kind of backlash after the holiday and possibly a resetting, and people were not looking optimistically, really, at those numbers. A few people did, but very few in the big picture. It's actually 257,000 private sector jobs, and then you adjust for government layoffs, and you get to that 243 number. That is big news for this White House, and I would venture a guess we are going to see the president today out touting it and his string of private sector job increases per month.
Yeah.
This is a big deal.
There'll be some chest thumping going on. Okay, I want to talk about Florida and then look forward to Nevada. As I looked at the Florida numbers, it looked pretty good for Mitt Romney across the board, except I noticed out in the Panhandle, the western part of the state, Gingrich did very well. He won a lot of counties there. In the next few days, it looks pretty good for Romney. But long term, aren't there some states out there where Gingrich could do pretty well? Places like Georgia, Mississippi, maybe the state of Texas?
Yes, no doubt about it. And Georgia has 76 delegates. It's his home state. Texas, obviously, Governor Perry is endorsing him and has endorsed him. Tennessee, Oklahoma,
sure.
A number of southern states. I think Gingrich is poised to do well. And you talk to the Gingrich campaign, and they say, listen, there are only 5% of the delegates that have been apportioned as of yet, and 95% are on the table. The question, Brian, as you know, is about momentum and about money. And if the campaign can continue to function through a February where perhaps he doesn't have great showings.
Well, in fairness, he's up 20 points over Gingrich in Nevada, up 15 points over Gingrich in Michigan, up 24 points over Gingrich in Arizona. So it's not all good news for Newt Gingrich, but there are some states out there, I think, still to come where he could do well.
No, I agree with you. Yeah. And I don't expect this battle to stop anytime soon. Technically, the magic number is 1144 for a GOP nomination to get the delegates, and you can't really get that until the end of April, even if you ran the table.
But how does the Gingrich campaign see themselves winning this, is what I'm getting at. Do they believe they can actually get the number of delegates that is needed to win, or do they think they have to go to a convention, or are they just hanging in there just to make life more difficult and miserable for Mitt Romney?
I think they really think that they can block Mitt Romney from getting to 1144. That's the inside strategy.
So block him from getting to that number, but not necessarily getting that number themselves.
Yeah, I think that's where they're getting to in their minds, and which means that you go to the convention without enough delegates, and then the convention decides, and then they have to make the decision. They have to make the case that they're better for the Republican Party and more conservative and a better contrast to President Obama, and you make it on the convention floor. I think that's the path.
Brett, we're a little divided in the room on the Trump endorsement. What do you think the calculus was over at Romney HQ about this and going so far as to have the joint press conference? And has he done that in the past with other folks for endorsements?
Well, here's a couple of points. One is that was the shortest press conference I've ever seen. It was 4 minutes, 47 seconds, I think. And that's pretty remarkable for Donald Trump to get off that stage very quickly. I think that the calculation perhaps was they wanted to shore up the right flank. In other words, they wanted to prevent Newt Gingrich from getting any kind of momentum with the Tea Party folks and a Trump endorsement. Listen, endorsements on the big screen, a big picture, don't really make a huge difference. I think the calculation was this was to prevent Gingrich from getting it.
All right, on the Iran front, Leon Panetta said something the other day that raised a lot of eyebrows, believing that Israel may strike Iran this spring, was specific with the timing of it this spring. What do you know about that, and why do you think he actually would telegraph that it would be coming in the spring?
This is a major story, and we are going to follow it up today. When he told David Ignatius with the Washington Post, he's in Brussels, that Israel could strike Iran in April, May, or June, that's just not any comment.
Right.
Yeah. That has a message, and it comes a day after Panetta arguably got ahead of his skis a little bit and said that the combat operations were going to end in 2013 in Afghanistan, a message that apparently was supposed to come out in the May NATO ministerial in Chicago. So, that arguably could have been a mistake. The White House was trying to walk it back yesterday. But then the very next day, to have this statement, it seems like there's a message. And whether it's a message to Israel, which I think it perhaps is, that we're not okay if you do this.
We're not okay if you do this.
Maybe.
Okay.
I'm guessing now. We've got our tentacles out to everybody. But why would you say it's coming?
Well, especially with Panetta being on the record. You could say, hey, if Ignatius got a source close to the Pentagon saying that this could be coming, it could be coming in the spring, but to have that actual quote from the Secretary of Defense is significant.
It's very weird.
It's really significant, and a lot of people are scratching their heads and trying to figure out what exactly is going on. The underlying story, though, besides the intrigue about the statement, is that a lot of people privately say the substance is accurate, and that Israel is very close. They're in a spot where they have been before in the history of the country. They feel like they're the month before 1967. They feel like they're under attack, under siege, and this is the time they have to act.
You've got a big special coming up on, Saturday?
Saturday night for the Nevada caucuses. When polls close, 10 p.m. Eastern, we'll have an hour special. We've got some great guests. John Ralston on the ground, great reporter for the Las Vegas Sun. We've got a full panel, and surrogates for the campaigns will take the speeches. Should be a good night.
All right,
Very
Brett
nice.
Baer.
Good to have you.